This is how I start all of my presentations. That my goal as the president of Element United is to, number one, help people understand the massive problem that exists, help them see how they are a part of the problem, and then finally show them how they can be a part of the solution. And when we frame what we're trying to do, kind of from, flying at 30,000 feet at Element United, from that perspective, it helps people, it helps them understand um, and to realize that there are problems that they probably never thought about, and that those problems are directly linked to technology that we use every day. But there's this new exciting thing that exists out there through the blockchain that where they can participate and be a part of the solution. And then when we add our message and specifically what we're doing and what our products are, they love it. People. I mean, I've never been involved with anything that's so well received. And what gives me so much confidence is that the tech and the partnerships and the people working on this are real. And this isn't just something that we hope happens. This is something that's happening now. So it's exciting. And I understand it. I get it. Things aren't happening as fast as people want, especially when you look at other projects out there and what other projects are saying, and things happen overnight. We're in this for the long haul. We are trying to be a company that can be around for the next 20, 30 years and create a company and have a community that's big, because the problems that we're trying to solve aren't solved by a few people. It's solved by all of us collectively participating and demanding certain things. One of the examples that I give all the time was the reason why blood diamonds basically disappeared. Well, I mean, there's still a problem with blood diamonds, but for the most part was because the consumer is the one that demanded that something happen. And so essentially all the things that happened and the processes that happened and the people that all came together between governments, the UN, the consumer, to make changes in the diamond industry, that's essentially what we're trying to do with all things that are mined. And we can do that and make it much, much better than the process that happened with diamonds, because of the blockchain. The blockchain is trusted. The blockchain is immutable. The blockchain is all of the things that allow us to make change and to make sure that these changes are trusted and verified. And so when we go to places like Amsterdam and we do these presentations and people hear what we're doing, just the amount of attention that I got after the event, the amount of people that reached out to me personally, it's a mixture of shock, amazement. They want to be involved. And it's exciting to be a part of that. And we appreciate all of you guys, everybody in here in the Discord. Some of you have been with us going on 3 years. Some of you are brand new. So when we get on here, we give you guys a chance to ask questions directly. We love it when you chime in. So we're going to do that today. We're going to answer some of the questions that you as a community have. We always start things by prefacing, as the president of Element United, the company, which is its own separate entity, and you guys as members of the Element blockchain, there are certain responsibilities I have, and there are certain responsibilities that you have. There are certain things that I can't say that you can say. There are certain actions that I can take that will have no effect on you. There are actions that you take as members of the blockchain that will have no effect on Element United, the company. And people, sometimes that's hard to understand, but in order for us to stay compliant and to make sure that we, everybody in the crypto space right now feels like they're walking through a minefield, trying to, if I do this or say this, is, Gensler or the SEC gonna have a problem with it? And it's a really weird time to be in crypto, but it's an exciting time. When I was out mining in Africa, the reason why it was so exciting, there are so many opportunities because it's the wild, wild west. A lot of it was unregulated. A lot of it was do whatever you wanted to do out there. And then in time, the government started regulating things, and largely because of our TV show, a lot of changes were made in the mining industry because we brought a lot of problems to light. And so the crypto world is just weird. I mean, look what's happened this week, okay? SEC lost the case. They got censured. They had to pay the legal bills of a case where they were trying to sue. And then on the flip side, the Ethereum ETF approval, right? The first preliminary approval got approved. And so there's all these things happening in crypto, and then they go and they sue three more people. So it's this weird, uh, unpredictable thing happening right now. And so, as the president of Element United Company, I'm always going to stay true to Element United, the company. I'm never going to jeopardize the company by saying something that gives the SEC the ability to come in and go, well, you just promised these guys, and I get it. There are other companies out there doing that. There are other companies saying this thing's going to the moon. Those words will never come out of my mouth. If that pisses you off, I'm sorry. But there are certain things that I'm going to do that will make sure that I don't jeopardize the company. You guys, as the blockchain community, have at it. You guys can talk and do, and there's a certain amount of collaboration that you guys have to have on your own as a community. So anyway, I always like to lay that groundwork. And there are people who think I'm not aggressive as I should be, and trust me, I'm also a member of the Element Node community, so I understand. I'm with you on that, and I've had a chance to talk to a few of you, and to be able to talk one-on-one, and I appreciate your feedback. I love you guys, and some of the points you make valid. I get it. I agree with you guys on a lot of this stuff, but just understand that there are certain things that I can't speak to that you want me to speak to. And so I got some great advice this week from one of you. Said you should fire 8 of your 9 lawyers, and that's the best advice I've ever heard. And I agree with that. But one of the lawyers that I don't want to fire, I'm going to have come on today and help and talk about and help answer some of the questions that you guys have today. So I'll introduce him in a bit. So without further ado, I understand it's the middle of a workday. We're going to jump right into this thing, and we're going to try to answer some of the questions you guys have. Now, I'm old. I'm going to be 50 in a couple months. And so when I have my glasses on here, I can kind of see the screen, but I also can't see my phone that have the questions. And so if I do my little old man, moving my glasses move, understand that's just what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to see my questions here. My reach on my phone gets further and further the older I get. So now I'm just going to have to get one of those selfie sticks and put my phone that far away so I can see it while I'm at the same time trying to look at the computer here. So we're going to jump right into it. And one of the first question is, and there were more questions. Some of the questions might not get covered. I apologize for that if they didn't come in time, or some of the questions that did come in have been answered already. But one of the questions is, what will be the first step to give utility to the ELMT token? And that's a great question, right? Because putting on my member of the community hat, I want there to be a ton of utility. I want this token to be used in a variety of different ways by thousands of people, changing hands every single day. But the first thing is going to be the tokenized carbon credits. We are working toward, we want every single carbon credit, whether it's the offset program where you're offsetting your own carbon footprint, or whether it's our B2B where we're selling carbon credits to bigger companies, to be purchased with the Element token. Now, when you think about that, if let's just say there's a big Fortune 5 company X who needs to buy millions of dollars worth of carbon credits, we need those purchases to be made with the Element token. Or whether it's your own personal, $19.99 a month personal offset that you're doing through our subscription model, that also needs to be purchased with the Element token. Now, there's a few things that have to happen. Obviously, we're waiting for there to be a little bit more volume for that to happen, but eventually our goal as a company is that every carbon credit purchase, whether it's B2B or B2C, the personal or the big, has to be purchased with the Element token. And we're working toward getting to that, because obviously you, as node people who are running nodes who hold a lot of this token, you guys want that, right? Because you want the tokens that you have to have, someone needs to desire those, someone needs to want them. And I understand that, having utility in that token also changes the tokenomics. It changes, how much those tokens are sold for. None of that's in my control. That those are just all market conditions. But to answer the question, what would be the first step to give utility to the ELMT token? That is going to be the tokenized carbon credits, and we're working on all of that now. That's our big push right now, is making sure we're getting all of our testing done so that we can fully release the offset program to the masses and get people paying their monthly subscription with that element token. Okay, when will it be possible to buy silver and gold with our token, and how much will be the rebate? So we are working with multiple, we're in communication with multiple companies that sell gold, silver, and other precious metals so that they can accept the element token. The rebate, so here's why we're doing that. So we're talking with just a couple. We don't want to make this available through everybody. We're looking for just a few preferred partners. And what's in it for that preferred partner is that we're hoping a lot of you guys, or not just you guys, members of the community or anyone that wants gold and silver, will go purchase the ELMT token to buy it at these couple preferred brokers of gold and silver. And the reason why is because anybody that uses the element token to buy gold and silver will be getting a rebate from the company. And so they'll be getting a rebate of, and what we're talking about is a 2% rebate. So let's just say one of you guys wanted gold and silver. You would use either the element token that you already have, or you go into the marketplace, buy the element token, go to, ABC Gold Broker, who accepts the element token for gold and silver. You pay in your gold and silver, and then you receive a rebate, essentially making it the least expensive way to buy gold and silver, because you'll get a rebate in ELMT, and you can just go sell that ELMT and receive the money for that sale. Therefore, you've received a rebate, so you are incentivized to use the element token to buy gold and silver because you're going to get a rebate. The buyer, the ABC Gold Company, is incentivized to accept it because now there's going to be more volume if he's one of the few preferred gold buyers. And then now he's got everybody coming to him to buy gold and silver because they're getting it cheaper by using the element token because we're giving them a rebate. So that's work. We're in talks with quite a few people to do that. And so as far as when that's going to happen, that's most likely, I think the soonest it would happen would be Q3. But that is obviously, again, token utility. Okay. The token can be used to purchase carbon credits. The token can be used to buy gold and silver. We might start off because we have quantities of gold and silver as a company. We bought quite a bit of it last year when silver was down. Now it's like doubled since we bought it. And so we've got quite a bit, and they're the stamped element tokens. But those we just bought from someone that we're probably not going to partner with just because they can't handle the volume. So we want to make sure that whoever we're sending you to, whoever's producing the element gold and silver tokens, and whoever's going to be preferred, that they're buying it from ethical sources, right? We have to prove all that. And so we don't want to send you guys or have you guys buy from a guy that's, how ironic would that be that we're sending you to a guy and we're giving you a rebate from someone that's buying dirty gold and silver. So we're figuring out those pieces as well. And ideally, it would be one of the guys that's already partnered with us. As you guys know, we're partnered with 6 gold mines, and some of them are active gold mines. And so we obviously would like to purchase from them because we already know they're element certified gold mines, or else we wouldn't have partnered with them. Okay, next question. This is a question about the Binance Smart Chain Bridge development that we mentioned in our last one. That we're gonna, a couple of the brands that we work with have already done that. We haven't done it yet. It just hasn't been a massive priority for us just yet. But again, we'll probably wait a little, sit on that for just a couple more months before we deploy the Binance bridge. And when I bring on John, he might have some feedback on that as well. In fact, John, if you have any feedback on that, if you want to jump in and answer that now, or we can just wait. Let's see if he unmutes here. I see the little thing spinning. There he is. John, do you have any feedback on that? I know you've been working on that.
Yeah. So the Binance Bridge deployment right now.
Hold on, let me introduce you. Let me properly introduce you. This is John Matson. John Matson is one of our lawyers, and I've known John since 1994 or 1995, and he's been with the company for a couple of years, and he's fully involved in everything top to bottom with the legal of Element and some of the other projects we're doing. But go ahead and jump in.
Yeah. So on the Binance Bridge deployment right now, it's kind of a few technical pieces to make sure that the smart contract that is deployed is operable. And so there's some back-end stuff that's being worked on to make sure that's finalized. Once that's ready, I think it'll be ready to go. And so
okay, timeline?
I'd say a couple months. Yeah, okay. For sure.
Yeah.
And it's just all the pieces that are moving in place. And so that's where that one was.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the feedback. Okay, the next question is, will gold and silver be purchased from Element's partner mines? And I think I just addressed that in answering the previous question. That's a resounding yes. We want to make sure, specifically with the mine that's already mining out in Tanzania, we've been there, we filmed there, we know who their crew is, they rock the Element swag while they mine. We would obviously like to buy as much as they can bring up because we already understand who these people are. These are trusted individuals. These guys are mining ethically. They're being paid fair wages. And so that would be our first one is, so yeah. And some of the mines that we've partnered with, we partner these mining relationships that we have. Some of them are that they don't mine and that we generate revenue in other ways by like doing carbon credit projects on their mines, like specifically with our Canadian partners. Some of the two partners that we have out in Africa are actually mining. And yes, the supply of gold, these two in Africa are actually gold mines. The supply of gold, obviously, we would want to get our hands on as much of that as possible because we already know the ethical nature of the mining that these guys are doing. Okay, next question was, around 2022, Gold Rush star Todd Hoffman appeared on the Element website as Element brand ambassador. What is his role with Element now? So we talked to Todd. So as of today, nothing really. But Todd and I are friends, and Todd gave a pretty interesting proposal to me. I'm not sure if I should talk about it publicly, but Todd reached out and proposed a relationship between Element and specifically Gold Rush, the TV show. There would have to be some higher level discussions on how that would work. But basically, Todd said, "Hey, I've got a way for Element to be all over TV. You interested?" Which is weird, right? Because I'm a TV guy. That's how I got my start. When I was mining, I was on TV. And you would think I would just jump up and down and say, yes, let's go. But there are other layers to that. Putting a crypto project on Discovery Channel, there are pros and cons to doing that. Obviously, in the right time, of course, we want the exposure. Of course, we'd love that. The proposed relationship that he proposed is very interesting, and I won't go into any details, but it would basically give Element a ton of exposure because Todd is a super conservative guy, meaning he loves the environment as well. He's like fisher, hunter, outdoorsman, and he's very conscious of like the native Alaskans. And our message really resonated with him, and he wanted to kind of piggyback, and then we wanted to piggyback on him. Basically, the proposal would be a very, very integrated relationship between him and the show. I'm happy to put deals together with him directly because he's a good, honest guy. He has a big following. But when you add the TV aspect to it, it's there's some things there that and his proposal, we haven't obviously done anything. I'm not out here saying, hey, we got a relationship with them. So there's I'll be very upfront about that. But the proposal is interesting. And it would give, I think when we're ready, I think it would be something very interesting that we would be very anxious to pursue because obviously I reached out to him in the very early days and I said, hey, look, here's what we're doing. I want you involved. So I do want him involved. I just think we need to be a little bit further down the road before we take him up on his idea, which is a very, very cool idea. It's an interesting idea, on how we would, it would involve me, in a small regard, being back on TV, which I'm not sure I would want right now. But anyway, the idea is there. Todd's a good friend, great guy. As of today, we don't have anything formal with Todd at all, other than we're, we are in talks to do something that could be very interesting for both parties. So anyway, so I'll leave it at that. I don't mean to tease that or to make assumptions that there's something there that isn't, other than there's an interesting proposal that we've been talking about over the past couple of months that when the time is right, we'll probably pursue. How'd I do there, lawyer? Is that good? Is that they keep everybody safe? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. What is your end goal and dream for the project, and how long do you see that taking? Well, obviously, the end goal is to make the ELMT a commonly used token in the sustainability, mining, and gaming space. So the products that we have with sustainability, with all of our carbon credits, with mining, and then with gaming, there are so many use cases for ELMT, the token. And so I want this to be, I hope that all of our products, the in-game use that we're still working on, that this element token is commonly used, that it's out there, that, but I always back up a little bit. The end game is that we solve problems. And I'm not trying to be too Pollyannish or not aggressive enough, but I say, if we solve the problems that exist out there in the mining world, everything else will take care of itself. And I'm confident of that. If we figure out how to reduce the environmental destruction that's happening, if we figure out how to end this child labor, then everything else happens. And so I always start with what our vision and our mission and our purpose is. And it's to solve these problems that exist out there. And we solve these problems by creating products. And if these products have token utility, then everything, then it's I believe, a win-win for everybody. Even though I'm not saying that my efforts are going to make you money. I'm not, obviously I draw the hard line there. I'm saying if I do my job and solve some problems, everything else takes care of itself. And then we can get into more specifics about token utility and things like that. I'm not trying to brush that under the rug at all. I'm saying I'm going to do my job, do the best that I can to solve the problems that exist out there. And luckily, these products are on chain. These are blockchain projects that have a token aspect to it. And so we can get into the specifics of that here in just a minute. Okay, let's see. As far as how long that takes, that is a great question. It depends on how well these things are adopted, how well people like our products. A year, 2 years, 3 years. We're hoping to be here for the long run. And we're creating real products, and we have a real company. This isn't just some meme coin that we dreamt up of overnight. That has nothing to do with what we're doing as a company. And so as we get more involvement from governments, as we get more involvement from other collaborations that we're doing, it can take off. Perfect example. If we end up doing something with Todd and all of a sudden, boom, there's national, worldwide exposure for Element, things tend to happen a little bit quicker than that. But that also comes with a downside. And so we have to be strategic about the partnerships that we take and how quickly we release certain things. Okay. How will the EMC add utility to the Element token? Okay, so the EMC will probably, that's more of a end of Q3, Q4. And that product itself is more let's solve problems, right? The EMC is where we're certifying the mines. They're making certain commitments. And so it probably has the least token utility of all the products that we have, but is solving, one of the bigger problems. I've got some notes here. I had my Amy. Some of you guys have met Amy. She's in real time typing some notes here. Anyway, I'll just skip over that one for now. Her answer, but the ethical mining certification is probably one of the most important things we're doing as a company. And will it have token utility? It may not. I mean, this is just a certification for the mines that we hope get certain commitments. But the other three products obviously are full of token utility, but this one probably has the least, if we're just being honest. But it's probably the most important thing we do. Okay, can you briefly list which products so far, both current and future, will require people to purchase element tokens? Okay, yeah, we kind of talked about that. Obviously, the offset marketplace. Offset marketplace, both for the personal carbon credits and for the business to business carbon credits, will all need you must purchase the element token. Obviously, the gaming thing stuff that we're working on, we're hoping to have a ton of in-game purchasing. So you purchase your plot of land using the element token, you upgrade using the element token. But really, most of the utility will come from things like buying gold and silver, all of the carbon credits being purchased with the element token, and then sky's the limit on the in-game utility, in the token utility for the in-game purchases. And there are multiple entire companies whose token has just exploded simply because of what they did in a game. So the game is still obviously on track, and we hope that it has a ton of utility. Let's see here. So basically those big three right now, which is the purchase of gold and silver, all of the carbon credits, and then the in-game stuff. And then of course we have the eVault, and then there's the EMC where obviously we'll figure out utility for those products as well. Have there ever been any conversations with node governance about having a way to contact them as a community? Unfortunately, getting a timely response from node governance via email is still difficult. And so, of course, there is a way to contact node governance. And obviously, we apologize that it has been slow in getting contact with them. They've agreed to come on here and do an AMA as well. But there is a way. What's the best way, John, for them to get a hold of node governance?
I think right now, I can just tell you, so as an attorney, what I'm doing is I'm working with node governance because node governance has been authorized by this group to be an agent on behalf of the Element Node Network. And that's one good thing to remind everyone. And that's the power of this right here is Element United DAO LLC does not own the blockchain. It does not own the nodes. It does not control the blockchain. The community does. The node operators do. And as a community of node operators, node governance is the agent that was appointed by the Element Charter when everyone voted for the charter to act as an agent on behalf of the community of node operators. So that's the power of this is Element United is the company that's making products and services. It's making the offsets, it's making the games. It's helping to create some products that will go into the ethical mining and the eVault. In fact, 10 years from now, there could be 10 different companies making products and services that operate and facilitate transactions on the Element blockchain. But right now with node governance, what they're striving to do is update their website so that they can have a Q&A portion of the website, so they can have more interaction with the website so that people can ask and answer questions. And that's happening right now over time. And so that's one thing that's the power of this is that the community owns this. The community can decide, do we want to have our agent node governance talk to an exchange? Element United, the company's never going to do that. Element United, the company's never going to sell tokens. That's not what Element United, the company, is doing. Element United, the company, is making products and services that hopefully help solve problems in the mining industry. That's what Element United, the company, is doing. But this community of node operators, you're not investing in like Element United. You're not investing in like Coca-Cola. When you invest in Coca-Cola, you put money in, you hope Coca-Cola does well, they do well, your stock does well. That's totally not what this is. You're buying node software. You're choosing whether to run that software or not. That software helps facilitate the operation of a blockchain by facilitating data validation. And when you do that, then the whole blockchain can operate. And one of the things that Element United is doing is each of these products and services that Element United is doing creates transactions on the blockchain. And the more transactions there are, the more times that those tokens need to move back and forth. And so that's what you as a community can do, is look and see, how are those transactions growing? What are the things that you as a community can do to facilitate even further transactions? That's why this is cool. Is I do know that talking about bridges, Element United, the company, does not own and control the bridges. You do. The node network community controls the bridges. And one of the reasons why the Binance bridge is a little slower is because most recently the smart contract for on-chain voting was deployed. And so now I know there's a community member that's interested in updating the charter a little bit, getting a vote out there, which would be an on-chain vote, totally on-chain, totally transparent. Everyone votes. It goes right on the Element blockchain, and your vote would go to determine what changes you want. And so some of the things that you can do with regard to node governance is you can make a proposal, and the node governance website, the DGF element at node governance DGF or whatever that website is, and I'd have to go there. That website now has an opportunity to make a proposal, and you can propose, I want to use the token for this. I would like to do this. And one of the things that's going to happen soon, I know community members want to update the charter. So that'll be an on-chain vote. So that was a long answer to a question of, how can we get in contact with node governance? The answer is, it is exploding. And that is the difference between this community and just meme coins that are owned and controlled by some company. Element United, Scott Lomu does not control this. They control what products and services they're making, but you guys control it. You guys control this blockchain. Element United, a company, could fold and the blockchain could still keep going. That's the power of this. 5 other companies can come on and make products and services. So that's what's cool about node governance, is it's an agent. It's kind of like a homeowners association. You've all built homes in the houses in the homeowners association. Element United was kind of the builder that made the land and launched the blockchain and gave it to the neighborhood. And now you have node governance, which is kind of like the president and the treasurer of the homeowners association trying to get a few things done, trying to pay the landscapers. And as you grow that land and as you make it more valuable, then more people are going to want to come, and this thing will explode in a way that allows the community to do whatever you want. So that's a long answer, Scott. Sorry, but there you go.
Can the community fire the lawyers?
The community can, if the community wanted to, the community could vote to get rid of node governance. And node governance works with me as a lawyer, right? And so the community could vote to get rid of node governance. The community can vote to vote people off the island. They could say, you know what, the products and services for company XYZ, they're not working. Let's get products and services for somebody else. It's the community. The community has the power, and that's what's cool.
That's the beauty of it, right? And there are certain things that the community should be doing that they think I should be doing. But we want everything to be community driven. So, okay, John, thanks for that. I don't want to keep people on here too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep moving on. Were you good? Awesome. Okay. How many subscribers does Offset have? So Offset is we're still in testing. We said, hey, we're live, but we haven't started marketing yet. We're not doing anything yet. So the follow-up question to that was has the number of Offset subscribers met the team's expectations? And it's just too early to tell. We haven't even started advertising yet. No one has seen an ad or anything for the Offset. We've got a couple dozen people that have already signed up that we're testing, and we're able to work out some bugs with them. But we are in talks with some very, very high level influencers. Because we're looking at the price point of what we're doing in these different markets. We think we can have some really good success. In fact, the people that we're working with are basically telling us they're going to kill it for us. They're going to get, blah, 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 X number of subscribers. We just wanted to make sure that before we turn the nozzle all the way on, that we didn't have any issues on the back end. The last thing we want are, 3,000 customer support tickets coming in overnight when we turn this thing on. So our advertising will start this in the month of June. And so we're hoping to see, so as far as, that second question, has it met our expectations yet? We'll know once we turn on the faucet, and that's going to be happening in the next few weeks here and one of the other things was we were trying to figure out the tokenomics of it, because there's a big referral component to this. As you sign up and as you pay your monthly subscription, you're going to get X number of tokens every single month that you're paying your $20 a month to offset your own carbon footprint. But we want an army of people out there. So you guys know the bracelet campaign that we're doing. As you're wearing a bracelet and someone comes up and says, "Hey, what's that?" and they scan the QR code off of your bracelet, and then that they go and sign up for the offset program. How much do you get for that? Those are the things we've been trying to figure out as far as what is the reward. Because if you reward someone for doing the right thing or for referring other people to do the right thing, then this thing can really take off. And so we want to make sure that this goes viral, that the people that we're dealing with, these high-end influencers, that there's something in it for them, because there has to be. We don't expect them to do this for free. Or there's something for the individual user that bought a bracelet, had their neighbors, ask about it. They scanned the QR code. It took them to a sign-up page. And so we've got it figured out. We will release that in detail about what you get for it, for referring people. And then we're going to take this to the masses. So those two, especially the second question, has it met our expectations? We just don't know yet, but we are confident that this is going to be a fantastic program. We know that if we can get this in front of the right people, our goal obviously is tens of thousands of people who are offsetting their own carbon footprint, because it has direct impact on these mines, and there's token utility. If tens of thousands of people are paying Element every month, or we're doing bigger transactions with these bigger businesses, then yeah, there's going to have to be a lot of tokens moved to facilitate all of these subscriptions. Okay, are there options to be listed on other exchanges, since CoinStore is not so user-friendly for Europeans and I think also Americans? If I had other more comfortable options, I would have bought 10 times more ELMT tokens. So, right now the ELMT tokens they're available to exchange on CoinMarketCap, Uniswap, as well as CoinStore. But yeah, members of the community, get involved and help to get ELMT listed on additional exchanges. That's you guys and the DGF. That is what you guys should be working on as a community. There are other communities out there that are super aggressive, that are out there leading the charge. And so this one, because you guys own the blockchain, that's on you guys and the DGF. But I do know the DGF is working on. John, do you have any input on that as well, on that question?
Yeah,
as well?
sure. And in the charter, when you guys approved it, you authorized node governance to act on your behalf, right? So node governance can act on behalf of the community. The community can say, we want to get on another exchange. We want to do these things. Let's just be blunt. The problem with exchanges is they're pay to play, right? And Element United, the company, is not funding this. Element United, the company, is not controlling the blockchain, right? But there are ways to, as a community, raise funds, get people out there, develop and create excitement as a community to go out and do that. So many exchanges have been contacted. I know that Node Governance is reaching out to exchanges, and that funding and crowdfunding ability is something that's really powerful, right? And so again, it's important to remember, you're not investing in a company that's doing it all for you. You're a community of node owners that has come together, that sees the power of this blockchain and the products and services that and the utility that creates, and then you're together growing that. And so what I would encourage is, I think that, like I said, soon there will be an on-chain vote that will make some tweaks to the charter, and we've already talked to community members who want to do that. And then after that, if there are proposals you want to do, we want to talk to this exchange, we want to talk to this exchange, we propose that each person chip in this little amount. When you have 5,000 people chip in a little amount, then you can raise funds really quick, and then you can go and do these pay to plays for the exchanges. And that's a really important thing. And there are community members that really want to do that. And so it's a community driven thing. One thing, Scott, I wanted to say, I was thinking about another, you were talking about the EMC. When I look at this community and I look at the token, I think the EMC may have ultimately the biggest token utility. And that's once it has broad acceptance, then like let's say you have a vehicle manufacturer like Volvo and they want to say every part in our car was ethically mined, every little part. Well, to do that, you have to do blockchain supply chain tracking of all those parts through the ethical mining process. And that's what's being created as Amy has submitted things. And, you know, you mentioned her. Once that is up and running, the amount of transactions to track that ethical mining into end game products is going to be huge. So I just wanted to comment on that. The sky's the limit on that, and proposals on how to do that would be great as well.
Cool. All right, thanks, John. All right, let's get through some of these other questions so we can let you guys go. Let's see. Okay, a question on Southeast Asia. How is potential cooperation in Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, with which Chris had strong relations during several meetings? It was expressed it was the easiest job for everyone who said yes to corporations, knowing everything takes time. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about what we do. When we go out, and we've had multiple meetings out in Africa, we've now met tons of people in Central America and in Asia. When we present what we do, the easiest thing in the world is to get people to say, what you're doing is awesome, I'm in. What it takes to actually do that, they have to come up with a lot of money. There's a lot of money on their side to actually do these carbon credit projects. There's a lot of, because we're dealing with government officials, there's a lot of, okay, let's do that, but what's in this for me? For example, somebody mentioned, hey, I thought you were going to mention or meet with President Ruto. Yeah, and until his handler said it's going to take X number of thousands of dollars just to get in front of him. And so a lot of these countries, they're all very accommodating. They're all very, I love what you do, because they're thinking of things in political terms. What happens if I talk about how I'm working to end environmentally destructive mining in my country? That's a win for them politically. Then when it comes down to here's what we need to do to make that happen. For example, one of the companies we were talking to in Indonesia for one of their carbon credit projects, they said, this is awesome. We can put this entire project on the blockchain, but I have to convince so-and-so that we need $8 to $12 million to start. That's funds that they have to come up with to get their carbon credit project going. And so a lot of it is just, they have to go through hoops, and those things take time. You have to go through hoops to get certain things approved. And that's the case with especially a lot of African countries that we're working in, and in Southeast Asia, where Chris was doing a lot of his work. And Chris was working on some very, very big deals out there. And one of Chris's frustrations out there was they all said yes, they all said let's go. And then it was one of those hurry up and wait. Let's go. Okay, great. Working on literally 9-figure deals. And then they just, oh, well, this government official said we have to wait till after the election, or this project, we need 10 million up front to get it going. And so there was some frustration there. The collaborations that we are working on with other countries are always ongoing, but we've decided right now that there's a lot more control that we can have by focusing on the gaming side of it and the carbon credit side of it. With the subscription model, we can go live with those on our own terms, without a lot of funding, without having to wait for government officials or tens of millions of dollars to come in. All of that stuff will still happen eventually, but we can get to revenue and token utility much, much quicker by focusing on other products, which is what we've chosen to do. But these things that we were working on in Asia, those aren't dead. I emailed 2 or 3 of those guys last week just to check in and make sure that stays warm. Okay, what does the strategy look like to gear up the organization for the load involved in expanding these collaborations? Yeah, that's that's a great one. Load management is tricky because you look at if we can get this offset program to explode this summer, then that's interesting, because now we've got to increase our support. We've got to increase. There's a whole bunch of staff And luckily, we've got competent people running these divisions with, Victor on the tech side, Amy running on the environmental side, Ali running the customer support side. And so, yeah, they will have to expand their departments very quickly. Luckily, that's easy for us to do. We can bring competent people on very quickly and make sure that we're not bottlenecking anything because, too much growth, for those of you who've run businesses before, can be a bad thing if you're not prepared for it. And so obviously we prepare for those contingencies. Okay, would it be possible to interview a few more miners who've partnered with Element to get their perspective on what they see in the near future and over the years? That's a great idea. I love that. That's a very, very good suggestion. I think some of you guys have heard from in various media from Jay, who owns the Tanzania mine. But I'd love to get some of these other mining partners on and maybe do some videos or bring them on. Because again, when it comes to people willingly saying, yes, let's do this, there's a ton of that in the mining space. I've got a call tomorrow at 11 with another guy who's got a 43101, which is a certification on a mine and wants to bring it to the blockchain. That type of stuff, we are a godsend to a lot of these mines because we can help bring something new to their mining, new revenue sources, bring new excitement to their projects. So yeah, that's a really good idea. In fact, I'll keep you posted on this, how this meeting goes tomorrow with this new mine. They're pretty excited at what we can do for them. Okay, when can we in the community create collaborations with B2B companies that already buy carbon credits and get them to be able to buy carbon credits through the Element Marketplace? Yes, please, right now. Have them, if you know somebody that's buying carbon credits, reach out to us and make sure they drop your name. Obviously, any action that you guys take that helps us, you'll be rewarded for it. We may not have like specific, incentive structure set up, for a contingency like this to where someone brings us, but we'll come up with one. We'll make sure it's fair to you guys. So yeah, if you've got someone that is buying carbon credits and you send them to us to buy carbon credits from us, absolutely, we can handle that right now. We're already up and running to do that, and obviously we will reward you for doing that. Okay. When do you see the B2B marketplace for carbon credits being operational? That's imminent, in the month of June. So probably before the end of June. So, okay. Let's see if we've got some more. So who is node governance? I think John already answered that one. If you have anything else you wanted to add to that, John, you can. The question was just who is node governance? I think you've summed it up unless you have anything else you want to add.
I could also say node governance is it's a company, node governance, Sarl. It's a Swiss company. We did that on purpose. We worked with that Swiss company on purpose because US regulations just kind of suck. Scott introduced the call with that. And at least under Swiss regulations, we can play by a rule book. It might be the suckiest rule book, but at least we know the rules. And node governance operates according to those Swiss regulations on behalf of the node network community, and then tries to accomplish things on behalf of you guys. And you guys are in charge. So you can dictate what you want node governance to do. And that's why this upcoming on-chain vote that'll happen in the next few weeks, look forward to that, because that starts the thing, that starts the process. So they're a Swiss entity representing you guys.
So last question is, this bull run, and this is kind of a two-part question. This is probably a question a lot of you have, okay? This bull run, how can we understand if we're going to have financial success as a node holder or ELMT holder? I don't understand how the money will be made as a node operator. I don't understand as an investor with many millions of Element coins how any money will be made. Now, again, as the president of the company, this is a landmine for me to answer these questions. As a member of the node community, which I also am, I love this question, and I want to talk and I want to answer this question as a member of the community. So answering this question is one of the main reasons I wanted John on the call. And I've talked to a few of you individually, specifically about why I can't say, well, here's exactly how you're going to make an investment on a return on your investment, Mr. Investor. There are things that make it hard for me to answer that in a way that doesn't, where, because I always assume if there's somebody on this call who works for the SEC, everything out of my mouth assumes there's somebody from the SEC on this call or will hear this recording. Okay. And so, and I don't say that because I try to like watch what I say only if someone else is on. I say that because we have to be super compliant. I say that because we want to make sure that we are a project that's here in the long run, and that there is a clear separation between what I do and what the community does, and that this how we test that we have to live and die by isn't violated by me going, well, here it is, blah, 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 right? So, John, I don't know if John's still there. He turned off his camera and his mic. But John, as a lawyer, how would you answer this question? First, let's get your take. Do you want me to read the question again, or do you think you got a handle on it? Oh, you're on mute. You're muted. Lawyers.
Read it again.
Okay. So this bull run, how can we understand if we're going to have financial success as a note holder or ELMT holder? I don't understand how any money will be made as a note operator. I don't understand as an investor in many millions of ELMT how any money will be made.
Okay, interesting. So what I would say is, as a node operator, you're joining a community of other node operators to support a blockchain network, right? And so when you purchase your nodes, they facilitate real world action being converted into validated data transactions on the blockchain, right? So you're supporting that. And for the work that you do by running your node to support that, you're rewarded for that. So you're rewarded for the work that you do. You can choose to turn your nodes off and you're not rewarded for that. If you turn your nodes on and your nodes support the node network, then you're rewarded. So that's one good thing to keep in mind. And my camera, that's what you can still hear me, but my camera just mysteriously went off a little while ago and I was trying to fix it. But anyway, with regard to investment, you're not investing in Element United, the company. You're not investing in Element, the token. What you're investing in is the community of people that are coming together with this concept of how to make products and services and utility associated with mining. That's what you're investing in. And you're not investing by just dumping money. It's not a stock. This is what people are having a hard time. Regulators in the US are having a hard time understanding this. But as a community with a joint effort to go into this, as crypto pulls out of crypto winter and most likely will go on a bull run. Everyone says that. Will it go on a bull run? As it goes, this is what's cool about this community is this isn't a meme coin. This isn't just plop your money into something and hope that it goes somewhere. This is a community that has substance and control over what's happening. So as a community, because you're an invested community member, you're invested in the concept of where this can go. And so as it has substance behind things that Web3 is actually tied to real world mining, carbon offset, e-vault, ethical mining transactions, gaming, with all of those real world concepts, that's what you're invested in. Because as Web3 grows, people aren't interested in the meme coins. What people are looking for now on this next bull run, and this is my opinion, is substance. And this community of node owners has substance to the depths. And that's what you're investing in, is the substance of everyone as a community coming together. Now, Element United, the company, 5 years from now might not even exist. But this blockchain can continue to exist, and other companies like Element United can come in. And that's really good for you to know. Now, you can look at what Element United is doing. If you like those products and services, support them all to heck. And in fact, that one question about, hey, can I offer people that might want to buy carbon credits? Sure, you can invest, you can send that to Element United, the company, because they're building products and services on this blockchain. And you as a community member can choose to assist that or do whatever you want with that. But really, you're not investing in a company. You're not investing in a coin. You're investing in the overall concept of Web3 taking real world actions in this space and making them have utility. And as that grows, then the things don't just go up and down and up and down. They grow with a base substance. And that's really what everyone's looking for.
Well, and I know personally the person that asked that question spent some great time on the phone with this person. He's shared some really cool things with me. Really, you know, looking at. And there's just some certain things that, and he showed me some really cool projects of what other people are doing, but they speak differently. They talk more brazenly about what they expect, what the expectations are. You know, obviously the tech that they're doing, some of the websites he sent, really cool, but they speak about the projects in a way that we don't. And the reason we don't is because we in this landscape that we're in with the SEC, and again, and I think everybody on this call knows of projects that were fake, where they got rugged, where they got taken for money. We obviously want nothing to do with that. They know projects that have been shut down by the SEC. And so we feel like what we're working on will create, there's enough token utility. And if we just get the message out there, there will be a massive community that supports this Element blockchain, that joins the Element blockchain. And therefore, there'll be a huge, massive community where we can put the projects that Element United builds onto the blockchain and everybody wins. But I get it. I am also a node owner. I have more nodes than a lot of people. And I also like that side of it too, right? I also, follow other projects, but we're just trying to be compliant. We are trying the best we can, and I get it. Everybody says, "Hey, the lawyer's getting away," blah blah. I understand that. Nobody buys into that more than I do. We're trying to build something. What we're working on, I think, is so important to the world. And we're basically the only company addressing this problem. We're the company that's trying to bring this to the masses, bring this to the world. And we want to be here in the long run. I believe in time that the products that we're introducing through this blockchain are going to change the world. And I don't say that, that's not hyperbole. I believe that what we're doing will be as impactful as the Kimberley process was in getting rid of most blood diamond. I think the projects that we're working on with carbon credits are going to be revolutionary to where they have real impact for people who are there in those mining areas. I believe that our ability to let individuals subscribe monthly and have that monthly subscription be paid for in the Element token, to where now, where most of the world wants to do something. They want to do something about the environment. They just don't know how. Now we provide that how. Gamers out there. Gaming is one of the biggest industries on planet Earth. And a free play to earn game that lets you earn a crypto token while solving problems, that doesn't exist either. So what we're doing is revolutionary. But I can't come out here and promise you anything. And I never will. If anybody hears me or has a recording of me anywhere of me promising anything that you're going to get rich, send it to me. But it doesn't happen. Now, my upside, yes, I'm a node owner too. I'm a node owner, and I don't view that as a conflict of interest at all. Like I have a lot of tokens, and I want what you want. But for the purpose of the role that I play, the vision that I have of my origin into this whole thing, I must stay firmly planted in my camp. I'm here to build products. You as a community have more power than I think you do. Maybe that's our fault for not explaining the power that you guys have as a community. You have a ton of abilities, of responsibilities. We want you to take action, bring projects, come together as a community, work closely with the DGF and get this thing listed on as many exchanges as possible. We're gearing up. We're about to have an unbelievable 18 months. The next 18 months are going to be like nothing the world has ever seen in the world of crypto. And we are perfectly positioned. Our products are about to be live. We're coming out of testing. We're going to hit it at the exact right time. So, you know, for me as the president, I live this. 24 hours a day, this is all I do and think about, and collaborations I'm working on, and what can we do? And I'm trying to think of you guys, people who've bought, you know, people who've bought nodes. I think about you guys constantly, because guess who else bought nodes? My mom, brothers, sisters, friends, all my neighbors. They're all node owners. They all love this because of a dream we have, and they saw the vision that we had. And so that's a heavy responsibility for me. The other responsibility I have is to make sure I don't do anything that gets us shut down. There's nothing of me on record where the SEC can go, boom, look what these guys did. All these node owners are relying on Scott to make them rich. Therefore, they're a security, shut them down. I can't do that. I would have much more regret about that than about the token not taking off. I'd have so much regret over actions that I did that got this shut down. We're onto something special. What we have is something special, and I'm going to do everything that I can. This is my life's mission. Everything I've done in my past has led me here today. All those years in Africa, all those years I did on the seminar circuit, dealing with, you know, doing gold and silver, and everything that I've done for the past 20 years has culminated with this. Every experience I've ever had has made this the perfect landing spot, the perfect position to solve some real world problems. And so anyway, so I leave that with you guys. Thank you. And listen, if you guys want to talk to me directly, please do. I'm an open door, Lomu at Element United. Email me directly. I'll answer any questions, even the hard ones. And I understand that me updating, maybe some of you guys have concerns, or maybe you didn't hear what you wanted to hear. Contact me directly. I'm more than happy to talk to you guys and to let you know where this is going, and that there is a very rock solid plan. There are dozens and dozens of people working on this, not just in our offices here in Lehigh, but all over the globe. And what we're doing is going to change the world. And I'm glad you guys are along to help do that, because this is done by you. You guys will help us change the world, and I appreciate that. So thank you. And let's do this again. As you guys chime in here and say, hey, look, we need an update, you know, every week, month, whatever, happy to do it. So appreciate you guys. We'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you.